An Angular service is code that can be used to organize application logic, thereby keeping your controllers clean and focused on defining the model and user interface operations. Services can be used to encapsulate logic that is not directly related to a view or a model, and services allow you to share logic or data across the application. Services can be injected into any controller or any other service, making it easy to use that logic anywhere it is needed. Services are lazily instantiated. That means that Angular won't instantiate a service unless a component depends on it. And services are singletons. That means that each component that depends on the service gets the same instance of the service. So you can keep data, such as lookup tables, around for the lifetime of the application and share it across multiple controllers. Angular has a set of built-in services, but it also provides for the creation of custom services. Angular built-in services are prefixed with the $sign. We have already covered some of these built-in services. The $HTTP facilitates communication with remote web servers. We used $resource, which is a wrapper around $HTTP for interaction with RESTful backend web services. And we used the $HTTP backend to mock the backend web service so we can run the application without having a web server in place. You can create your own custom Angular services for your business logic. There are several ways to create your own service. One approach is to use a service method. A service method defines a function that can be constructed. The most common approach for building a custom service is to use a factory method. A factory method defines a function that can be invoked. We'll use the factory method approach. Use the factory method to register the service. Register the service name and the service factory function. The object or function returned by the service factory can be injected into any component that specifies a dependency on the service. Here is the code required to register a service. This code is registering the service with the common.services module we created earlier in this course. It uses the factory method of that module to register the service. The first parameter to the factory method is the service name. We'll call it product service, and it will provide any product-related business logic. The second parameter is the service factory function. In this example, the function is referenced by its name, and here is the service factory function itself. The business logic code is defined within this function. Once the service is registered, Angular can reference it and inject it as a dependency as needed. Creating a custom Angular service requires the following steps. Create a new JavaScript file for the service. It's a good practice to put each service in its own JS file. Insert the script tag for the new JavaScript file into the index.html file. That will ensure it is downloaded to the client. Register the service with a module as shown on the prior slide. We already created a common.services module for our common services. That is the module we will use for the registration. And the last step is to write the code for the service in the service factory function. Let's do these steps now.